Yo, what up, guys? Today I'm going to talk to you about color theory, and I'm going to just break it down, demystify it, and explain exactly what it is that's going on. If you ever had trouble, like, oh, how do I pick colors? I don't know what colors to use. How do I find colors that work? This video aims to break all that shit down for you. Um, I always I always I studied graphic design, and they sort of explain it to us in very simple terms. As I've gotten more into illustration and painting and all this kind of stuff, my knowledge has gotten uh, more expansive, and I had a pretty good grasp on it until I met a comic book artist called Brian Stelfreeze, and like in 10 minutes he broke shit down for me so well, and just explained every little thing. I pretty much thought I knew it, but he really sort of showed me how sophisticated you can go with it. So when I learned, I just you ever seen this? This is called the color wheel. So when I learned this at design college, this is the sort of level of sophistication that I was familiar with, right? Uh, as I got, through self-teaching, I got more into this level of sophistication. But then when it got broken down for me in person by Brian Stelfreeze, like I sort of gained like all this sort of like understanding of it. I'm like, oh shit, I got it, I get it, I get it. It's all good. So I'm going to talk to you about the different sort of color harmonies, meaning uh, finding colors that work together in harmonious ways, meaning they work well together, and also how you can kind of fuck with it a little bit so that you can purposely get some color disharmonies, if that's your point. Like if you want your piece to look like it's all flowing together, you pick some harmonies, but you can purposely like if you got like more of a you want it's more of an unsettling kind of horror kind of vibe or a weird vibe, you can purposely pick colors that kind of fuck around with your senses. Okay, I'll explain. Uh, these are the different sort of color harmonies we got. We've got complementary, analogous, split complementary, and triadic. So basically, what it means is complementary is when you're basically just picking two colors at opposite ends of the color wheel, right? So uh, as we can see, that would be green and red. Well, I'll do the most simplest terms. You know, um, Opposite of green is red. Opposite of blue is orange. Opposite of yellow is purple. That's complementary colors. So what it means is if most of your image is like purple, you know, you pick yellow as your what's called the accent color, and I'll show you some examples right now. So complementary colors, like if you want your image to just bam be just super punchy as shit, like you pick two colors and you make them on the opposite end of the spectrum. So we've got, this is a cover of Cyclops, from X-Men, Marvel Comics, and this is you'll find a lot of examples of this in comic book covers, right? So the background is just all like this, this really saturated blue, um, and the figures, Cyclops is all orange. This orange is just two colors, bam, end of story. This is an album cover for a band called Iron and Wine. The album is called The Shepherd's Dog. I don't know who the original like the painter is, but it's a very punchy album color. It's like whatever so the way you can think about it is like, okay, if my background is going to be this color, the color, if I want my main figure, in this case it's the dog, to stand out as much as possible, like if my background is yellow, like I've got to make my main character some sort of purple or pink. Well, let's just call it purple, right? And that's gonna make it stand out. So basically, it's two colors. Again, this is a Hellboy cover, and again, green and red, opposite ends of the spectrum. You know, whole background we got this kind of like, oh, we're in some sort of like, you know, some sort of horror, some cloning, some sort of mutation stuff going on in these vials, I don't know, cryostasis pods, whatever. And Hellboy, he's bright red, and bam, it works. 2 colors, super punchy. You know, Hellboy super stands out. This is another piece by, oh god, I can't pronounce it. It's called Journey by Prezemek Ble. Oh god, I'll put the text. Sorry, I can't do it. But man, I fucking love this piece. It's just bam, 2 colors, green, red, and it's just so weird. She's got this red sort of like this red bottoms, and top of her is covered in green paint, and like it's just super punchy. It's fucking cool. This is a painting of mine that I did a while ago, and this is called The Year of the Dragons. It was done sort of like for the Chinese New Year's back in 2012. But again, my own thinking was like, okay, I thought like, okay, fire, orange or red, like, so I just know, okay, so if I know my fire is going to be orange or red, bam, so that's in my mind, I'm like, cool, got it. If I just want to make it punchy, I make everything else blue. And that's basically, I did the whole thing in basically, well, gray, which is sort of like a neutral, nothing color, and then orange and blue. And that was my thinking. Bam, done. Right, so now that's complementary colors. Now we're still on complementary colors, but check it out. So what I showed you before is a sort of, I think it's a very, and I don't mean to like insult anybody, because I do it too, like, and it's fucking punchy. It's a very sort of simple, you know, just basic approach to complementary colors. Saturated orange, saturated blue, bam, and it works, and it's cool, right? But something I started to become more aware of as I, you know, really sort of studied some fantastic artists, like, you can get kind of subtle with it, right? Now you check out this. This is a painting by Phil Hale for the character Swamp Thing by DC Comics, right? Now, like, I'm checking it, I looked at it, and I was like, oh, this is really, like, it's very striking, but I don't know why, and I looked at it and I'm like, oh, wait a second. We go back to my color harmony, and we've got like blue, and opposite of blue is like orange, right? But in this piece, like, he's taken that orange, and it's not orange, he's desaturated it all the way down, meaning, okay, I'll just show you, like, what I mean when I say desaturated. So this is what I would call a very saturated orange, right? So that's super saturated, that's really saturated. Now when I desaturate it, it just basically means take it more to gray, right? So if I desaturate this completely, it becomes pure gray. You know, if I you know, ease up, it's a you know, so full saturation is orange, and then we bring it down to like there. Now, so it's the same principle, right? Blue on one end, orange on the other, but he's fucked with the orange, and it's kind of brown, it's got a bit of green in it, and even the sweater, it's not the most saturated blue you could possibly have, but because it's a slightly desaturated blue, and because you put it next to this very desaturated orange, i.e. brown, that you still have, it still works, right? I'm like, oh, so when I saw it, it really struck me, and then when I got to analyzing it, I'm like, oh, motherfucker, that's what he did. That's fucking dope. That's really cool. I gotcha. I get it. This is an illustration by an Israeli, I think it's Israeli artist called Tomer Hanuka. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Again, same sort of deal. You could go full on, you know, basic, which is orange and green and red. But like this, again, same sort of thing. He's fucked with the green. He's desaturated, made it more sort of like kind of toxic, pale green, right? And then again, the red becomes pink. And again, it's the same basic principle. It's 2 colors, right? But this is a piece gonna based around child soldiers and stuff. So again, he's got that color harmony which will always work, but he's kind of added a bit of nuance and a bit of subtlety to these colors. So now it's a bit sickly, it's a bit weird, and that color scheme goes with, I think it goes very well with like the subject of child soldiers. She's got like this kind of pink t-shirt. I guess stereotypically you'd have girls wearing pink, but it's a kind of a fucked up pink, and yeah, just ooh, amazing, awesome, love it. Again, same sort of deal. This is this is a sculpture called Expansion by an artist called Paige Bradley. I just came across this on Instagram, and again, I'm like, oh, it's fucking sick. But again, when I actually analyze it, again, these things they hit you on an emotional level, right? And it's sort of like a little color theory hack. If you want to just bam attack someone at an emotional level, like, oh my god, it's amazing, and then they don't know why, but as suppose you, presumably as an artist, you can like then think about it afterwards and like, oh yeah, I see what you did there. So again, same sort of deal, like blue and yellow, or purple and yellow, but again, very desaturated purple, so it's almost gray, but it's probably blue gray, and then it's sort of a pale yellow coming through, but we still got that color combination that works.